We just got a ride out to this place where they're building catamarans, and we bought some nida-core and some polyester resin, and our friend Mike, who has a car, came with us and helped us to transport it. There it is.
Sanding the bottom to rough it up and to clean it up in preparation for applying some fiberglass to strengthen up these weak areas. Just kind of going in here and giving it a good scrapey scrape. We'll come through with some acetone later.
We have just laid a layer of fiberglass, you can see there. It's just now curing. We used polyester resin, you can see back there, and it was our first time using it. Apparently you use 1 to 2% hardener or catalyst, they call it, to the polyester resin, so it's just a little splash of it. It came in these containers here that you see from this boat building factory that we got some of the materials from. Michael, how do you think the project went?
I think it went well.
Why did we decide to lay a little bit of fiberglass? You can see it's just right here. We didn't do the rest of it, just this part.
Yeah, that was just the weakest portion of the floor, where when we were ripping stuff up, we took out a lot of the bottom layer of fiberglass to where you could actually see through it. So we thought we would help it out a little bit before we put the new core in. Give it some extra stability. It's not structural, it was kind of just us going overboard, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if you watched our last episode, I ripped up a massive amount of fiberglass with the core. Originally, we were going to leave this little thin strip of fiberglass all the way around, and then we were going to just slide the core in underneath. And now, due to the type of material that we got and the research that we have been doing, it makes the most sense to cut this completely out flush, and then just to lay the core on top, and then to re-tab it. We got the lip removed all the way around. So the next step will be to sand.
I used an angle grinder with an 80 grit sanding disc attached, which was super effective but required a light touch.
Nida-core, also known as honeycomb, is easy to cut in its raw form. I used an X-Acto knife, which wasn't quite long enough, and came back with the pocket knife to finish it off. Okay, now that we've got all of the old soggy stuff out and the surface is prepped, we're ready to begin the installation process. We've decided to go with nida-core for our replacement, and this is 1 inch thick. First step in the installation process will be to prep the nida-core, which means we'll lay a few layers of fiberglass on each side, and then we're going to put a filling compound along all the edges so that it will adhere properly once we stuff it in there.
So the test fit is looking pretty good. We might have to make a few adjustments on the corners, but after we get the honeycomb prepped, then step 2 is going to be installing it into the cockpit. And how we're gonna do that is creating a glue paste out of this filling compound, which we got from Nicholas Patey from Cribble Cove Boating Solutions in Maine. Huge shout out. Thank you so much, Nick. That guy knows a lot about boats and has been really helpful to us through this whole process. He sent us the fairing filler, gloves, some squeegees, a bunch of stuff to use for mixing resins, and this is what we're going to use to make our glue with the polyester resin. We'll coat the entire bottom of the sole, including the sides, up about 1 inch on the sides, and then we're going to press our prepped honeycomb down into the sole and seal it along the edges with that same fairing filler.
Once the nida-core is glued down and sealed all the way around, we plan to add a few more layers of fiberglass. This time we're using epoxy as opposed to the polyester resin. And these layers of fiberglass are going to extend up along the walls all the way around on all 4 sides. So we'll tab it in. This is to make everything super water resistant and add strength. So let's go ahead and get started with step 1.
The proper ratio of catalyst to polyester resin is 1 to 3% catalyst per amount of resin. Ideally, you want to measure it out by weight using a scale. However, we did not have one and we measured by volume.
We applied the mixture to the nida-core, then rolled our fiberglass on top and added another coat to the fiberglass.
Oftentimes when we're doing work in the boat yards, someone will just come up and start lending a hand. I don't know if it's fun or they just like to help out. It's part of the culture.
But we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Things got a little hectic on us, as they do when we're glassing.
Yeah, just trying to figure out how to mix the correct amount, and these rollers definitely do a really good job. I think we did okay here.
Yeah, all in all,
Yeah.
First layer done.
We'll let this cure and then we'll flip it around, add another layer, and we'll keep the process going back and forth. We're gonna go ahead and wash these rollers off, let this cure. We got a lot more work to do. Be sure and subscribe, give us a thumbs up. We really like thumbs ups. And stay tuned. We can't wait to finish this project and we hope you'll join us.
Yeah, a couple more layers of fiberglass in the next few days and then we'll be ready to put it in. Woohoo!
These are the tales of Boab.
Boats on a boat. B-O-A-B, baby, where? B-O-A-B, baby, where? B-O-A-B.